The Harry Potter films are incredible to say the least. However, the books are far superior to the films. The films, of course, had to cut a lot out of the story when turning the novel into a script. In this video, I'm going to list 10 things that they cut or changed when adapting the books to the big screen. Number 10. Harry and Voldemort's eye color. In the books, Voldemort's eyes were red, which is not the case in the films, although they did keep his snake-like nose, which I was happy about. As for Harry, his eyes were a rather important detail, as they were identical to his mother's green eyes. They messed this up even more in the films, as Daniel Radcliffe, who plays Harry Potter, has blue eyes, while the actress that plays Lily has brown eyes. They make reference to their eyes being the same color several times throughout the series, but they're not.
Yeah, my mother's eyes.
Number 9. Ron's first year of Quidditch. In the films, the first time we see Ron try out for his house team was in his 6th year, but the first time he actually tries out is in his 5th year. He decides to try out after his parents bought him a new broomstick, his reward for becoming a prefect. He starts out awful, but ends up leading his team to victory and winning the Quidditch Cup. He also turns the Slytherin's mocking song, "Weasley is our king," into a triumphant song for all Gryffindors. Number 8. Spew, or SPEW. This stands for the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare. This was an organization that Hermione started to liberate house elves in the 4th book. She gave out badges in the Gryffindor common room in return for them donating a bit to the foundation. She also left clothes around the common room that she had knitted, hoping an elf would pick it up and would be free. But all it led to was Dobby being the only one who cleaned the common room, as the other elves were offended. Number 7. The incomplete Weasley family. In the films, we're introduced to 6 of the 7 Weasley children: Ron, Ginny, Fred, George, Percy, and Bill. But they left out Charlie Weasley. He was mentioned a few times during the series.
My brother Charlie works with these in Romania.
But he never makes a direct appearance, except very briefly in a newspaper article where you can barely see his face. He made an appearance in many of the later books. He went to the Quidditch World Cup, helped with the Triwizard Tournament by bringing the dragons, went to Bill and Fleur's wedding, and fought in the Battle of Hogwarts, all of which he was absent from in the films. Number 6. Gillyweed. This was what allowed Harry to breathe underwater during the second task of the Triwizard Tournament. In the film, Neville is the one who gives Harry the Gillyweed.
But you can always use Gillyweed.
In the books, however, it's Dobby who gives it to Harry. Dobby steals it from Snape's office and gives it to Harry minutes before the task began. Number 5. Luna and Neville's relationship. In the films, they made Neville and Luna romantically interested in one another.
You haven't seen Luna, have you? Luna? I'm not for her.
Well, they did do a good job setting this up all the way back in Order of the Phoenix. In the books, this never happened. They were always just really good friends. Number 4. The Quidditch World Cup. In the film, they are on the top level of the stadium with very bad seats where they can't see much of anything.
Blimey, Dad. How far up are we?
We'll put it this way. If it rains, you'll be the first to know.
In the books, however, they are invited to the Minister of Magic's box seats to watch the match. Number 3. Peter Pettigrew, or Wormtail's death. While Harry and Ron are trying to escape the cell in the basement of Malfoy Manor, Wormtail comes down. In the film, Wormtail is just hit with a spell by Dobby, and he falls to the ground. In the books, however, it is much more complicated. After Harry reminds Wormtail that he saved his life during the events of Prisoner of Azkaban, the silver hand that Voldemort had given to him during Goblet of Fire reaches for his throat, and the hand strangles him to death. Number 2. The Maze. This was the 3rd task in the Triwizard Tournament. In the books, the champions have to go through a maze where many different creatures stand in their way. There were boggarts, acromantula, blast-ended scroots, and a sphinx whose riddle Harry had to answer to get by. In the film, however, there were no creatures. Instead, it was the maze itself that was after them. The maze was almost alive and was after each one of the champions. Finally, number 1, the Marauders' backstory. One of the most disappointing things that the films left out was the story of the Marauders. The Marauders consist of Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, or Lupin, Peter Pettigrew, Sirius Black, and James Potter. In the books, we learn that James, Sirius, and Peter each become an animagus. They do this so that they could be with their friend Lupin when he turned into a werewolf. They also created the Marauders map, something that was very useful to Harry during his time at Hogwarts. They go into a lot of detail about how they bullied Snape, and eventually how James matures and ends up dating Lily. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on social media, links are in the description, and make sure you hit that subscribe button for more great content.
Brilliant.